In the morning I was nervous and very afraid someone was watching me all the time. I gathered my strength and decided to go to work. Because I didn't want to lose my new job. I gathered my strength and decided to go to work because I didn't want to lose my new job. When I entered the office that morning, I couldn't help but feel a sense of nervous excitement. I had just started my new job the day before, and I was eager to make a good impression. The office was bustling with activity, the sounds of chatter and writing filling the air. I headed to my office and greeted my new colleagues with a smile and a friendly hello. Everyone welcomed me with open arms. They introduced themselves and made me feel like part of the team. The work atmosphere was excellent, and I felt the positive energy radiating from everyone. I was determined to do my best and prove myself as a valuable member of the team. Throughout the day, I threw myself into my work, tackling task after task with enthusiasm and dedication. My colleagues were impressed by my work ethic and ability to learn quickly. They gave me help and guidance whenever I needed it, and we talked and laughed together all day long. As the day came to a close, I felt satisfied and accomplished. I worked hard and did my best, and I knew I made a good impression on my new colleagues. I packed up my things and headed home, feeling exhausted but satisfied. As I drove home, I thought about the delicious dinner that was waiting for me. I was going to make their famous lasagna for dinner. And I couldn't wait to make it. The smell of fresh pasta and melted cheese filled the air, and my stomach growled with anticipation. As I sat down to enjoy my delicious meal, I couldn't help but savor the flavors that danced on my palate. The aroma of the freshly cooked food filled the air, and I closed my eyes, allowing myself to fully indulge in the experience. Just as I was about to take another bite, the power went out, plunging the house into darkness. At first, I thought it was just a minor power outage, but as the moments ticked by and the darkness persisted, I began to feel a sense of unease. The room was cloaked in an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of my own labored breaths. I struggled to regain my composure, but the memory of the ghostly figure etched deeply in my mind. The woman's piercing red eyes seemed to burn through the darkness, her presence lingering in the air like a malevolent spirit. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as I sat there, alone in the darkness, I couldn't shake the sense that I was being watched. The woman's piercing red eyes seemed to burn through my soul, leaving behind a trail of fear and uncertainty. Fear overcame me, and I hurried to find a source of light. In a corner, I discovered a candle holder with an unlit candle. I lit it and returned to the dining table, only to sense a presence moving in the room. Alone in the house, I felt a deep terror gripping me, sending shivers down my spine. The candle's flame flickered and swayed, as smoke seeped in through the cracks of the door, gradually taking the form of an old woman. Her eyes glowed with an eerie light, and I was consumed by overwhelming horror. My heart felt as if it were being squeezed, while her gaze paralyzed me, rendering me unable to move. Desperate to escape this nightmare, I mustered the last ounce of courage and fled, hoping to find solace in everything I held dear. I raced through the house, a labyrinth of fear, unsure of where to go. My heart pounded in my chest as I stumbled through the dark, winding halls, my senses heightened as I struggled to keep my bearings. Finally, I entered an ancient room adjacent to the cellar. The air was thick with the scent of decay and forgotten memories. Dusty books lined the shelves, their pages yellowed with age and their covers worn and faded. In the center of the room, on a large, wooden table, lay a book with a weathered leather cover, bearing the inscription, "The Chronicles of the Forgotten." I approached the table, my hand trembling as I reached out to touch the book. As my fingers made contact with the cool, worn leather, a sudden gust of wind blew open the cover, revealing a page filled with ancient symbols and illustrations. The air in the room seemed to shift and ripple, and I felt a strange energy emanating from the book. In that moment, all the voices that had filled the air, whispers and incantations I couldn't comprehend, fell silent. The room trembled, and the walls began to shift and shake. The volume of screams increased, reverberating around me. Ghostly apparitions materialized, crawling along the walls, as smoke billowed from beneath the door, taking shape once again as the old woman. Her eyes burned with a crimson glow as she drew closer, reaching out to grasp me with her bony hands. She whispered cryptic incantations into my ear, and dizziness overcame me. The cacophony of voices intensified, engulfing me in a maelstrom of terror. As the room spun around me and the old woman's grip tightened, I felt a surge of adrenaline and determination. I couldn't let fear consume me entirely. I had to find a way to break free from this nightmarish ordeal. As I flipped through the pages of the ancient book, I could feel a strange energy coursing through my veins. The words on the page seemed to shift and change before my eyes, as if they were alive and breathing. I could feel the power of the book calling to me, urging me to unleash its secrets. Suddenly, the room around me began to fade away, replaced by a swirling vortex of colors and lights. I felt myself being pulled into the center of the vortex, as if I was being sucked into another dimension. I tried to resist, but it was no use. The power of the book was too strong, and I was helpless against its pull. I felt myself being pulled closer and closer, until I was consumed by the vortex and everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a strange, unfamiliar world. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the sky was filled with strange, glowing clouds. I could feel the power of the book coursing through me, and I knew that I was not alone. There were others here, beings of dark energy that seemed to be made of the very fabric of the universe. They moved and flowed around me, their presence both terrifying and awe-inspiring. As I opened my eyes, I could barely see anything due to the intensity of the light surrounding me. Gradually, the brightness dimmed, and the image started to form in front of me. I found myself in the middle of a vast, white space that resembled a complete building or a large warehouse. There was only one door in the room, and I was seated in the center on a wooden chair. Behind me stood a towering figure cloaked in shadows, its presence radiating an aura of power and mystery. The air was heavy with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel my heart racing in my chest. As I looked around, I noticed strange symbols etched into the walls, pulsing with a soft, blue light. The symbols seemed to be some sort of language, but I couldn't decipher their meaning. The room was completely silent, except for the soft hum of an unseen energy source. I felt a sense of unease wash over me, as if I was being watched by unseen eyes. Suddenly, the figure behind me spoke, its voice low and rumbling. "Welcome, traveler," it said. "I have been waiting for you." Its voice was like thunder, shaking the very foundations of the room. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I tried to respond. But my voice caught in my throat. "Who are you?" I managed to stammer. The figure chuckled, the sound echoing off the walls. "I am the guardian of this place," it replied. "And you, my dear traveler, are the chosen one. You have been brought here for a purpose that only you can fulfill." I felt a surge of confusion and fear as I tried to process the guardian's words. What purpose could I possibly have in this strange, otherworldly place? And what did the symbols on the walls have to do with anything? I had so many questions, but before I could ask any of them, the guardian spoke again. "You will know soon enough," it said, its voice dripping with mystery. "But for now, you must trust in the journey. Trust in the purpose that has brought you here. For it is only by trusting in the unknown that you will find your way." The guardian turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving me alone in the vast, white space. I was left with only my thoughts and the strange symbols on the walls to guide me, but as I looked around, I realized that the symbols were starting to change, shifting and reforming into a new pattern. And as I watched, the pattern began to take shape, revealing a hidden message that only I could see.